correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
Welcome to Me and Steve Talk RPGs, a podcast where me and my friend Steve...
We're playing games this time.
Alright, so last time in the Celestree, our group successfully explored the Rusty Spoon, making contact with the Secret Service of the Isles of Antilles. Gaining their trust, you were making your way towards their operations room when you were ambushed in the middle of a dark alley. Let's just be honest and say that there was really horrible negotiations done, and ultimately a fight ensued between your group and the Kolaris agents, who had come to encourage you to follow their side instead of working with the Antilles agents. And we ended last session with the leader of the Kolaris group charging down this narrow alleyway at you with an axe drawn and archers appearing above on the tops of buildings, and a group of thugs wielding axes and swords stepping into the alley behind you. So unfortunately, I have lost the initiative numbers, so we're going to have to re-roll those.
Oh, right.
I think I rolled vigilance last time, right?
Yeah, you guys would all have been rolling vigilance.
It doesn't matter what I rolled.
What's your name, The Rock?
No, it's the same pool either way.
Yeah, vigilance. Yeah, it's the only. Other than vigilance, there's nothing other than vigilance to roll, right?
Cool is the other one.
Oh, could I roll cool instead of vigilance?
No, you can't.
Is there a
Cool's
link
if you're
for the
surprised.
Foundry? I don't have that bookmark.
I don't have Foundry right now.
You sound a bit. Are you okay?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm on wireless headphones. I'm at my girlfriend's place, so I don't have my computer, so I don't have Foundry and my normal stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so just use app on the phone for dice.
Yeah. Or I can roll for you, but no promises. I tell you the right numbers. All right. Who here is? I don't remember if everyone here is familiar with how combat works in the Genesis system.
I remember it.
Okay.
More or less.
Which one is it, more or less?
So when people are ready, you can go ahead and tell me your numbers.
I have 2 advantage.
I have 1 advantage.
Somebody please roll 2 green for me.
I got it. Hagan got 3 advantage.
Hey.
Hagan, I think there's a dice roller in chat.
I don't have it set up. I don't have the bot in our Discord to start.
I thought you did, because we've rolled there before, haven't we?
Yeah, regular dice, not Star Wars dice.
Oh, I thought we did Star Wars dice before, my bad.
I don't think so. I could bring the sessions bot in, but I don't have it in currently.
1 success, 1 advantage.
Wow, you guys actually got 1 success on your rolls. That's really good. All right. So at the front of the group, you had the PC, the orc, the signals agent, who was talking with oh my gosh, I don't have my cheat sheets here. So was talking to Terry's character out in front and kind of started the fight. The only other thing we'd established was that Prang was hanging out in the back with one of the trailing agents, but we didn't define the orientation of the group otherwise. So where are other people's characters?
I had said I was near like a fire escape type of thing to get up top.
Okay.
I feel like Karlax had tried to interject himself in the conversation, so he's probably up near Barnelby.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Hagan?
I probably would have been at the back of the group.
Okay, so you guys rolled like crap. So there are 2 NPC slots. So the guy that you were kind of just hunting has pulled out this axe. They tap a crystal that's in the head of the axe blade, and suddenly the axe kind of starts glowing. It has like wisps of ice coming off of it, and they are going to charge into you. And I don't have all my cheat sheets in front of me, but there's a talent called Bull Rush. So they're going to be using a maneuver in their action to run into Barnelby because they were an asshole to him.
I mean, he deserved it though.
Well, then you deserve this icy axe that's about to come at you.
Oof. I'm not saying I don't, I suppose.
So I'm going to just play a little loose with the rules.
I put Bull Rush in the chat for you.
I got to figure out how to get the chat then on my phone while I'm in voice chats. How does it work? You can just tell me.
When your character makes a brawl or melee or light melee heavy combat check after using a maneuver to engage a target, you can spend 3 success or a crit or a triumph to use a talent to knock the target prone and move them up to 1 range band away from your character. Sorry, it's
You're good. Well, that's kind of shitty because you can do that already for a triumph or that many advantages.
I'm trying to remember. I think it's what's the upwards arrow? Are those advantages or are those
Yes.
Are those hit? Okay, so those are
Advantages.
advantages. Because I'm using Star Wars dice, so
3 advantages or a triumph. Okay, let's see. So I have rolled a total of 4 successes, 2 advantages. I have rolled 1 failure and 2 threats. So that's going to cancel those out. So I'm sitting on 3 advantages. So this guy comes barging into Barnelby and swings his axe down as he's running. I think Barnelby is able to step back, but unfortunately, because of the momentum, he's able to grab like the top of the head of his axe and shove it into Barnelby. And you are going to be taking 12 damage.
Oh.
So what's your soak? And it's going to be -2 to your soak.
Soak value is 1.
No, that's not possible. You don't have any armor? You don't have any clothes on?
Oh, I thought. Okay, I
Spoiler,
forgot.
guys, he's been running around naked the entire time.
Right.
I mean, this is
No,
Barnaby. We kind of expect these things.
I don't remember. Oh shoot, we forgot to get to what armor I was wearing. Shoot.
what's the standard for you? What's your class? What's your career?
Scoundrel.
So you can just take whatever the regular starting
Leather
gear
armor
is.
would give 1 soak.
I guess 1?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
well then
Because
that's
heavy traveling clothes is usually like 2. But yeah, so you should have at least a minimum of 2 because your brawn plus your armor gives you your soak.
Oh.
And you have to have a minimum of 1 brawn.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, 2. There we go.
Yeah, well, you're still going to take 12 damage then. So
Yeah.
what's your wound threshold?
Wound threshold is 7.
All right. And Barnelby goes flying to the ground covered in blood. So I am going to need you to make a critical roll. So that's
All
a
right.
D100 to tell us what your crit is.
40?
40. Okay. So your crit is an easy crit. You need to know that because you need to track crits for me. And this is Stinger. Increase difficulty of your next check by 1. So that's not horrible. Remember that criticals are cumulative. So each crit you have increases the crit roll the next time you do it. Also, you have to heal these. They don't just go away. So even though, for instance, the Stinger only affects you for your next dice roll, you still technically have the quote-unquote critical injury, so it still makes your next critical hit more significant until it is resolved. All right, so we currently have, and you took this critical injury because you got knocked unconscious. Well, this is a good start. I didn't mean to do a total party wipe in the first combat session, so this is going to be interesting.
I forgot I was muted. Sorry.
You're good. So actually, next up is these guys again. So the group of 4 melee wielding thugs behind you is going to rush up, and I guess they're going to run into a Strongjaw, right? What's your first name, Hagan?
Groth.
That's right. Okay, so they're gonna run up on you. Do you have any defenses?
No defense. I've got 4 soak.
No, you said no defenses?
Yeah, no defense. I've got 4 soak.
Okay. All right. So they are hitting you for. So I rolled a net 2 successes and a threat. So they are hitting you for a total of 8 damage with 1 pierce. So I'm gonna narrate that in a second, and you can tell me what their threat is. So this group of 4 axe and sword and dagger wielding individuals kind of rush up at you, and they fight pretty well as a group. One kind of feints in as another one, draws your attention as another one tries to come at your flank. And you've got your axe out and you're able to defend a little bit, but one of them is able to score a blow across your shoulder as you're trying to take on these. Oh my goodness, my cat is attacking my dice. As you are trying to fight off these 4 individuals. So you are going to be taking a total of, because of the pierce that negates 1 soak, leaving you with 3. So that should be a total of 5 damage that you're taking. What would you like that threat to be? Do you feel like you have a good sense of how threats are spent in combat in Genesis?
I think I'd be able to use the threat to turn something to my advantage.
Correct. Like, they get a setback die on their next action. That can be, you get a boost die when you attack them next. That can be, there's a bunch of different ways to facilitate that.
The one guy got the hit on my shoulder, but they got slightly out of sync when he did that, and the other one kind of tripped over his foot as he was moving back, so he went off to my side and fell down behind me.
Sounds good. So what I hear is they'll have a setback. Cool. So we actually now have all 4 PC slots. So who would like to go first?
Well, before I was getting attacked by 4 guys, I was gonna, talk about trying to heal Barney. But it looks like I kind of have to, fight and live.
That'll be all right, I'm sure. I hope.
Could I? Normally, I use a staff as my focus for magic, but could I have? Since my axe has a nice long handle, could I kind of use my axe as a focus?
Okay. You tell me how your magic works. I mean, technically, you don't need to have a focus to cast magic.
Oh,
But
reading it kind of sounded like I did, but okay.
well, staff or a wand have mechanical benefits, but you don't have to have them to cast your magic.
Okay. I'm going to try to call lightning and do a wide sweep with the axe, and the lightning is infused in the weapon.
So you are describing actually 2 actions then. So the first action is trying to cast a spell, and your second action is to do an attack. You're only allowed 1 action per turn. So if you want this to be a magic,
I'll just do the magic part. Let's just try to.
If you want it to be narratively a magic attack, and you're just swinging the axe for thematic value, we can totally play with that.
Okay, yeah. I was trying to decide if I wanted to just do a straight up sort of lightning bolt that got my attackers, or infuse it into the axe as I swung, kind of thing. So
yeah, so the spell class to not enchant, but to cast a spell on a blade or an item is actually going to be enhance. And so that is, I don't remember if your class gets enhanced or not. I'm pretty sure it does. So you could cast the spell enhance on your axe to start a spell that makes it have electrical damage. It will take a maneuver per turn to maintain that, and it would be your action for this turn. You can cast basically an attack with electricity, which is a different thing.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that. That feels easier, and since he's having to more react without a lot of planning, it feels like that might be a little more of a. Okay. So primal.
Do you have the cheat sheet for the attack spell book right there? I put it in the session 0 stuff. So the way that you build a spell is you basically declare, in this case, you're doing an attack spell, so you start there, and I'm pretty sure the base is two purple, and then we are able to basically build a spell from there. So right off the bat, the damage you're doing is your intellect plus whatever your dice rolls are. Right, it's int. Is that the phrasing, or is it the spell casting characteristic? I thought it was int, but I've mostly used int-based characters, so I could have the verbiage of the skill wrong.
I'm trying to look at the different cheat sheet things.
Very good, I got it. So sorry, your base is 1, so you're engaged, so it's going to increase difficulty a little bit. The attack deals damage equal to the characteristic linked to the skill. So in this case, you're doing primal, so that's cunning. So next what we're going to do is look at how do you want to build out your spell. So basically, if you look in the session 0 spell section, you can find the spell cards. So for instance, for the attack spell, what you see is to increase the difficulty, by that I mean adding a purple die, you can add blast, or in this case, you have to add close combat because you're engaged with the people, unless you want to use a maneuver to back away. Deadly, fire, holy, ice, impact, lightning. And the thing I want to be very kind of explicit about here is quote unquote fire damage isn't necessarily fire itself. What you're gaining is the quality of burn. Burn has a very specific mechanic to it, which is damage over the time. So for instance, I have used some weapons that have quote unquote fire damage, but they're really doing poison damage, so it's caustically doing damage over time. Same thing for like a quote unquote ice addition that is causing ensnare. So, someone's getting locked up in ice, but it could also be someone is getting caught up in vines, or it could be them getting caught up in other ways. So it's more of a narrative description than a literal description.
Yeah.
So right now, your base difficulty is 2.
And then if I'm trying to hit extra targets, then that's an extra 2 per.
So no. So yes, technically you're right, but this situation, no. So you're fighting what's called a minion group. So in this system, they use groups of minions. And in essence, there are quote unquote 4 people that you're fighting, but they're basically one entity.
They count as one target.
Exactly. So they actually have a shared health pool. In this case, each character you're going up against has 5 HP. So if you do 5 damage, you basically killed one of those individuals. And the way the system reflects that is that basically when there's more of them, they roll better dice pools. And as you kill them off, their dice pool actually reduces to reflect that there's less of them. So their effectiveness in doing things is how they reflect the numbers of individuals. So you basically are attacking a group of minions, so just one target.
Okay. So in that case, I'm looking at 2 yellows, a green, and 2 purples.
So let's give you a boost die for preparation, because you can use your maneuver to prepare, giving yourself a boost die. So add a boost die. Does one of the other players want to do the rolling? It feels dirty for me to do that.
I've got the app on my phone now.
Oh, the dice. Oh, I apologize. Yeah. So go ahead and roll for me and tell me the results.
Okay, I'm just double checking the dice. I've got 2 in primal, so that's 2 yellow, and then I've got 3 in willpower, so that's a green, and then a blue and 2 purple, right?
Correct. I thought isn't primal procced off of cunning, or am I misremembering?
No, it's procced off of cunning.
It's cunning. My bad. I've got 3 in cunning as well. I've got 2 advantage and I've got 2 advantage and 3 success.
Nice. All right. So the way the magic works is like anything else. The number of successes you have are add to the total damage. So right now your base damage is a 3 because that is your cunning. So your additional successes give us your base damage. Now, if you had added something to the spell, so let's say you'd added fire damage to the spell, you would need 2 advantages to proc that quality to do damage. And this is true for any weapon. Any weapon that has an active quality needs 2 advantages to trigger that effect. So, for instance, my sergeant who just attacked has ice damage on their blade because they have a crystal, a rune embedded in it. I didn't roll advantages to trigger the ice damage that it could have done. So you said you rolled how many successes? You said 3?
3 successes to advantage.
Perfect. So your 3 successes means that you're doing a total of 6 damage. So you have, and we'll narratively describe this in a second. Do you have a sense of what you want to do with those advantages?
Is there a crit on the spell? Like, is there a crit rating for the spell?
Base spell crits are 5, unless you add one of the qualities.
Okay.
So you can cause 2 strain with those advantages, and as minions, they take the strain as damage because they don't have a strain pool.
That works.
So that actually does a lot more damage then. All right. So how do you describe this spell to us?
I'm kind of reeling and grab at my shoulder from where I got hit, and then I just like look up at, we're in a ship, so I kind of look up at what would be the sky and yell and like kind of pull my hand down, and you see it start glowing, and then I just fling it back and throw lightning at the guys that are all in front of me there.
Love it. So I think out of your hands, we see this like static discharge, and several of them are able to sidestep or miss, but the one that stumbled and fallen off balance, you nail this lightning shock, and you see, their hair stands on end and they're jerking and a little spastic. That one individual looks pretty injured, but none of your attackers fall. All right, who wants to go next?
Go ahead, Karlax or Barnelby.
Barnelby is down.
Yeah, I'm still down for the count.
All right. So Barnelby has gone flying.
So if I may, you do have potions that you can potentially use at this point on Barnelby, unless you have another idea of what you want to do.
Well, I was contemplating just making a medicine check because I do have a rank in that.
Cool. Yeah, I love it.
And I kind of feel like
the fact that our person who doesn't understand meat bags is going to try to do some medicine here. This is going to be exciting. I can't wait to see how. Barnaby, I hope you're not attached to all of your appendages. The pinky might be seen as excess.
Yeah, I can.
Well, I feel like Karlax has a very good intellectual concept of the body. It's this personality and the nuances of social interactions he doesn't get well.
Got it. Makes tons of sense. So this would be because we've exceeded his wound threshold. So that's technically a hard check. So 3 purple.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say is, I'm sorry. Hey, Hagan, casting magic takes 2 strain. So mark that down on your strain threshold. So what I will say is this for Karlax. You're going to have to use a maneuver to move over to Barnelby's body.
Okay.
Corpse. If you take 2 strain, I'll let you use a maneuver to use a healing potion as part of your medicine check.
Okay.
And we will reduce the difficulty of the check down to an average. Actually, well, no, the healing potion gives you a bonus of 5 health retained. So we'll factor in how much you heal, basically. So go ahead and make your roll. 3 purple in your medicine check.
Okay. Can I take the strain for the extra maneuver to get a boost die?
If you don't want to use the potion, sure.
Or well, no, okay, I'll use the potion. Never mind.
So I'll tell you what. Why don't we say, since you're using the potion, why don't you upgrade your roll 1? So swap out a green for another yellow.
All right. So let's see. I've got total of 4 success and 2 threat, but also a triumph.
Ooh. All right. So Barnelby, you are going to be healed for 9 points.
9 points.
Can the triumph heal the crit as well?
Technically, yeah. Or we could say it pops Barnelby back up into combat.
Yeah, either one of
What
those.
was my actually spaced and didn't write down what my wound threshold was with the damage. It was like
You took
10?
12.
I took 12, yeah. And you just healed 9, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you are like awake, and the
So just because I'm going to ask this, okay, given the triumph and the fact that I have quick draw and he's little, can I just have like picked him up, dumped the thing, and then just set him on his feet?
I think you maybe even like picked him up and just threw him back at the sergeant, weapon out or something. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's a hell of a way to wake
slap
up.
on the back. Go get him.
Well, good morning.
Good morning. My chest hurts.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Love that. I feel like that's not quite enough. So for the triumph, why don't we say that whatever Barnelby does next gets to upgrade it?
Okay.
Cool.
I think you kind of like somehow like giving them like almost like an energy drink healing potion or something, so it's like a little bit charged up.
It's a little extra slather to it.
Wait, did he just get slathered from a healing potion?
Yep.
Hey, you just got slathered.
Little extra slather in that one.
Do you want to go, Barnelby, or you want me to go?
I can go first.
You say you can go first? You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first, yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm over by the catwalk, the stairs, the fire escape. How many range bands up is it?
It is medium range.
All right.
But
So
you haven't.
2 maneuvers will get me to engaged.
Correct.
I'm going to do that. So I'm going to scurry up this
Love
catwalk. So I have a free maneuver for being a catfolk, and then my regular maneuver. And then I'm going to come in with.
You want to make an athletics check to maybe get something cool out of this, but maybe something bad, or do you want to just do the simple?
I am terrible at athletics, so I'm going to just keep it simple.
Yeah, sounds good.
So I'm going to come up and I'm just going to claw them.
Cool. Yeah, so there's basically 2 crossbow wielding, I'm just going to call them archers, standing above you guys. And you look that they're actually aiming, and they're sighting in on Karlax.
All right, so I'm going to try to take one of them out. I don't know if they're part of the minion group or a separate minion group.
They're a second minion group.
All right.
So they do not have any defenses.
All right, sweet. Can I get a boost for surprising them? I bet they didn't expect me to come up that quickly.
I mean, all right, but that's pushing it.
I always got to argue for the boost.
Well, like I said, if you argue really ineffectively, it will get a setback. But yeah, I think we can do a boost.
All right, sweet. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. Just 4 successes. So I hit.
So technically, this is a brawl check, right?
It works for cunning for me because I took precise or precision. So
got it.
Goes off my cunning.
Correct, but it's brawl, so it's your brawn plus your successes.
Precision says it works off of cunning for everything.
Oh, so even its damage is off of cunning?
Yeah, it says it makes the check off of that. Is what.
Yeah, so damage and check are different. So usually, even if someone uses like a melee attack using a different one, brawn is still the base for melee and brawl damage.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
I don't have that specific talent in front of me, so I don't know if that changes it.
It just says the check, so if it's not for damage, then it's not for damage.
So your brawn is
2.
Cool. So you're doing 5 damage total. Do your claws have any pierce or anything?
They're +1. So claws are damage +1.
Okay, so you're doing 6 damage.
Yeah. So I had 5 successes. No, I had
5 successes.
Sorry,
I'm sorry.
4 successes plus my brawn plus my claws.
So you're doing 7 damage. All right.
Just vicious 1 is they don't have any pierce.
All right. Well, you're killing one of these melee guys. Or sorry, one of these archers.
So I come up and I surprise them a little bit and I rake one right directly across the back of the neck.
Perfect. And I think because they're like leaning over to actually shoot the crossbow, you kind of like knock them out and they go flying and just splat into the ground below.
So you guys see a body falling into the street below you.
Nice.
That's me.
So I think the other crossbow is still going to shoot down at Karlax because hasn't quite realized that their compatriot has been taken out. Okay, so we are at medium range. Okay, so they are hitting with 2 success, but their threats and advantages net out. So Karlax, you've basically like picked up, slapped Barney on the back, sent him forwards, and suddenly an arrow is just sprouting out of your upper back shoulder. And you are taking 10 damage. And there is a pierce 2, meaning it ignores 2 of your soak.
Ow. So I take 9.
I believe that's the accurate word, yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Barney goes first. I completely forgot Barney goes first. All right, ignore that. Barney, what are you doing?
Okay. So I'm going to pull a Molotov cocktail out of my pocket. And... Oh, wait.
You do not have a Molotov cocktail in your pocket.
Yes, I do. I'm Trixie.
Oh, crap. You really are. You have to flip a story point, don't you?
If you guys are cool with me using a story point, because we haven't used any so far, right?
We're getting decimated. Yes, use a story point.
Let's use a story point. And I will pull a Molotov cocktail bar out of nowhere. Already lit.
All right.
Because,
because wandering gnomes, they're a thing. All right.
Not only did he come back from the dead somehow, he came back with the flaming thing.
So there's currently 3 light side points and 2 dark side points.
Excellent. Now, are they grouped together, the guys that are in front of us, relatively? Because it is alleyway. So
in front of you, there's the guy who just hit you is by himself, and then behind you, fighting Groth, is a group of 4 people that are kind of around him.
Okay.
One's kind of smoking on the ground.
Yeah, and I don't want to throw a Molotov cocktail at you at all, Hagan. That doesn't sound like a fun...
if you throw it past me, I'm okay with it. If you throw it at me, it's probably bad.
Right?
So what I'll say is this. If you roll 3 threat or a despair, it will hit Groth.
Okay. And all right. So what?
Go.
What would be the difficulty of throwing it at the guys assaulting him?
Yeah. So technically, this is actually a ranged attack to throw something.
All according to plan.
And you are at short range, so that's 1 purple.
All right. 1 success, 1 is this advantage or triumph? Oh, advantage. 1 success, 1 advantage.
Okay. So unfortunately, you don't have 2 advantages, so you're not able to trigger the ignite or the fire components.
Mm-hmm.
But you are going to be doing a lot of damage to the minion group itself. So kind of nets even anyways.
Alrighty.
So this is going to be doing 7 damage plus 1 is 8 damage. Their soak is a 4. So you are killing and severely injuring another one of these guys.
Oh no.
Note to self, don't kill that guy. He comes back very angry.
All right, so describe how this looks to us, Barry.
So it's not igniting, right? Well, you said that correctly, or because you said they're damaged but not caught on fire, right?
So to be clear, mechanically, you're not able to trigger the quote unquote ignite quality of, the technical word would be the burn quality of it. So, cinematically, it still can be exploding and causing fire damage, but you're not doing that mechanic component.
I got you one. I think I got something here, right? So it splashes on the ground.
Burn them, but isn't sticking to their clothes and continuing to burn.
It's not sticking. Yeah, it hit the area with them, catches fire, damages their feet. One of them slips on the oil and lands in it, dying a horrible, gruesome, fiery death. But the others just get minor damage. One slams his head against a dumpster. He's dazed, but totally fine.
One guy's like jacket arm is on fire, totally.
Right.
Cool. Yeah. So I think we see Barry reach into a pocket, kind of be a little surprised that there's just a flaming Molotov cocktail in their hands. Kind of do that like kind of almost like hot potato thing, and then somehow manages to like throw it at this minion group, and it hits one of them like in their chest, and the oil like drips down, and it doesn't actually catch on fire, and the person just kind of like looks around like, hey, what? And then boom, the fire hits, and it causes a little bit of an explosion, dropping the one guy and setting one of the neighbors on fire, injuring them. Cool. All right, now it is the crossbow person's turn. Oh, that's a much worse roll. Okay.
Oh no.
No, much worse
for us, much worse for them.
Yeah, that's the question.
It's a net by 1. So, Karlax, you are struck by this arrow. It's dealing 8 damage, sprouting out your shoulder, pierce 2.
I just realized I didn't use my upgrade for that roll I did.
You also didn't take the setback for the crit, or did I heal the crit?
Oh, true. Got even.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they actually went and netted out.
Oh, there we go.
No. You had a stinger.
Yeah, because easy crit.
Yeah, so to increase the difficulty, but it would have. So here's what I'm going to let you do. I'm going to let you make a choice. You technically should have rolled with 1 more yellow, but 1 more red. So it does net even. However, you could have potentially had a higher likelihood of getting a triumph, but you might have gotten a despair also.
I'm going to keep it as is.
Sounds good? All right, Karlax, an arrow sprouts out of your shoulder.
Yep, that still hurts.
You still standing?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. All right, so we're top of the order again. So the sergeant, who is going to kind of orient onto Karlax, is going to bring their axe up and swing at you. And you don't have any defenses, correct?
No, I have no defense.
Perfect. All right. So I think you kind of see them look at Barney and just kind of look at the axe and look at Barney and don't fully understand why they're standing, and sort of orienting on Karlax instead. All right, so that was a good roll, but I rolled too many dice, so I have to re-roll.
That's why it was a good roll.
I rolled a lot of successes, but I had rolled an extra green, and so I decided not to use that. All right, so is a failure with 1 advantage. So charges in, but I think Karlax, as you get hit by the arrow, you stagger to the side, which throws off the swing of the axe blade, and so actually ends up like striking the ground. Sparks go flying, comes back up and like shoves you with the pommel of the axe, not doing any damage, but leaves you reeling backwards. So you are going to be getting a setback on your next action because you've been bumped off balance.
Alrighty.
Okay. Next up is going to be the group of melee thugs that's currently fighting Groth. Groth or Groth?
Groth, Groth. It's in my name in the chat.
I'm on my phone, so it's hard for me to see that. But I appreciate you putting that there. Okay. So they have a setback from your shocking attack.
What a shocker.
Ooh. That is very good for me. Okay. So they are netting 2 successes and a triumph. So they are the 3 left standing, slightly electrocuted and slightly burned, come back in with a vengeance. You killed Danny. How did you have done that? And they are angry that you've killed their friend. And they are just attacking you from all sides. And suddenly an axe swipe just catches you in the back of the leg. You are going to be taking 8 damage with Pierce 1. And I think this triumph is going to trigger a crit. So I will need you to roll me a D100.
Okay, so the Pierce, it negates 1 of my soak, which leaves me with 3 soak.
Correct. So in that case, you're taking only 5 points of damage. And roll a D100 for me.
79.
79. Okay. Good thing it wasn't 69. Otherwise, this podcast would get a A lot more. All right, so that is an average difficulty, and you're overpowered. Target leaves themselves open, and the attacker may immediately attempt another free attack against them using the exact same pool as the original attack. Ooh, that sucks for you. That's really good for me. Hey guys, I don't know how to tell you this, but I was actually bored of this game, so I'm just trying to kill you right now.
Fair enough.
Oh,
You're doing a good job of it, so you know.
I'm joking. Oof. All right, that's actually a failure.
Just use this next. That's all.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to roll 1 second. Yeah, that's a big failure. Okay. Sorry, I forgot to roll the setback die again. So they score this blow and get a little, let's say, confident with themselves and push their luck. But unfortunately, they overextend themselves and they aren't able to commit contact any more strikes. They do have 2 advantages. So we are going to say that they are going to get a boost die the next time they attack you as they're coming in a little bit more aggressively.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So that's 2 of their turns. We now have 4 PC turns. So who wants to go?
Can I go to try to?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I can try to take out this archer up top. If that makes sense. Is that all right?
Sure.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna try to claw him again. The same, little less damage, but so I have this time only 1 success, but I have 3 advantages, so I can just crit him and kill him.
Your claws crit on a 3, they're not a 4?
3.
Oh, cool. Okay, those are dangerous. Yeah, so you're killing them. Tell me what happens.
So this time I just nick. I don't hit a solid blow. I just nick him enough and hit the jugular right across his neck, and there's just arterial spray that goes out over the side of the building, and he slips over the top as well.
Totally.
Go ahead.
I was just going to make Karlax do a quick roll to see if he gets splattered in blood for me. Just do like an easy coordination check. Let's just see if you get hit with blood.
Coordination. Easy is 1 or 2?
One purple, 1 purple. This is more of a narrative than like a big thing. Oh, I'm going to be rolling for the big bad. 2
advantage.
Nice. Yeah, so you're going to get a boost on your next turn because the blood, kind of lands around you and distracts the sergeant that's fighting you instead of you. So mark that down for yourself.
Okay.
Alrighty.
I haven't used any of my maneuvers yet, so I'm going to use a maneuver to actually draw my bow and set myself up where they were on the edge.
Okay. Yeah, totally. So you have now taken over that perch. All right, who wants to go next?
Question. The Molotov cocktail did its thing, and it's still all on the ground. If they're still standing in it, would I be able to use a fire attack at them that also tries to trigger the burn quality on the Molotov?
Totally. So at this point, it's more of like a cinematic thing, and what you described is really cool. So I think what we'll do is we'll say for a story point, you guys still have 3 of them to my 2. We will say that you will do an attack spell at the engaged difficulty, but I am not going to make you purchase the burn upgrade, but you'll still need 2 advantages to trigger the burn effect. So your skill roll is easier, but we still need to have the advantages to cause it to catch on fire. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, go ahead and make your roll.
Okay, so is it 2 purple again?
2 purple, correct. And you can take a boost die because you're not doing anything else, so you're just kind of focusing on your spell.
2 advantage, 1 success, and 1, it's a star with a circle around it. Is that triumph?
Are you using Genesis die or Star Wars dice? Does it look like a lightsaber with a circle around it, and like there's a flashy point at the hilt of the lightsaber?
It's like a 8-pointed star with a circle around it.
I think that's
that's a triumph. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay, cool.
2 advantage, a success, and a triumph.
So, all right. So the triumph technically can cause a crit, which technically kills a minion. So that's 1. Your advantage is going to cause the ignite stuff to take effect. So you're doing a base of 3, 4 plus burn, which technically ignores armor, and it's based off of the quality. So you are going to be killing another of the minions and severely injuring the fourth. So what does this look like?
I'd seen the Molotov land, but I saw that it wasn't going to its full potential. So I this time I kind of closed my eyes for a second, and my hand starts glowing red, and I fling it at them, and aiming also at like where the Molotov is like pooled, and it ignites it and splashes up on them again, and now this time it's really sticking to them. A little napalm going on.
Perfect. Yeah, so you one of them just basically drops dead, another one's on fire, and then eventually succumbs. And the last standing of the thugs
and 2 more strain.
Sorry, what?
And 2 more strain.
Correct. Every time you cast a spell, it's technically 2 strain. And you've been really successful thus far, but just to be clear, casting magic is really risky. All right, so I like sometimes having, especially minions, potentially run away after like crazy shit happens. So I'm going to why don't you go ahead and make this roll for me, Hagan, since you're causing it. So we're going to be looking at their discipline. Their discipline is 3 green. What you just did is pretty messed up. So we're going to say it's 1 red and 2 purple. So if you succeed in this roll, they stay. If you fail this roll, this last person's running away.
So I roll a red and 2 purple?
Red and 2 purple with 3 green.
2 success and 3, it's a circle with 3 things on it. Is that despair?
I can't see that. Can you see it, Eric?
It's on a purple die?
Yeah, it's a threat. It's a 2 success, 3 threat.
Okay. So they don't run away, but I think the threat are going to actually be strain instead, which is going to end up causing this person to also just die. So you've managed to wipe out this entire squad of melee thugs. So the only person left standing now is the axe-wielding sergeant. And I think they're going, they've just damaged Karlax aggressively, but they look around and see that their allies have all fallen. Well, I guess you guys weren't as soft as you appeared.
Except for me, I'm quite soft.
He just sort of shoved me out of the way with the axe, correct? Like the haft of it more than...
Yeah, correct. So he missed you, but he had advantages. So he missed you with the axe blade, but kind of like was able to shove you and just like make you stumble a little bit.
So can I just reach out and grab the haft of the axe and just headbutt him?
Yep. That'll be a brawl check.
Yep.
Cool.
And melee base difficulty is 2 or 1?
Correct.
2.
Melee and brawl are always base 2.
And I have a boost from the blood spray.
Correct. And did you have a setback for stumbling? I can't remember what I did to you.
I don't remember. I can roll one if you want and add it in.
I didn't mean to do this much damage to you guys.
So didn't mean to.
I lost 10 of my 15 wounds.
So yay or nay on the setback?
No setback. Don't take the setback.
Okay. So 4 success and an advantage.
All right. What's your brawn?
3.
All right. So you're doing 7, and you said how much advantage?
Just 1.
Okay. Yeah. So you are managing to connect with this guy's nose. You see blood goes splaying everywhere. He's injured, but he's more dazed than really wounded. Mm-hmm. And he kind of steps back, like wanting to reach for his nose, but knowing he can't do that in the middle of a fight. Says, you would make a good Kolarin, because we fight dirty ourselves. Cool.
And I feel like the threat, going with what you just said, is just a setback to him for like kind of a disorient daze type thing.
Perfect. Wait, the advantage?
Yeah, I had a single advantage, so it's a setback for him.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
you're fine.
I
You
said it wrong.
No, you're good. I just my brain struggled for a moment. I was like, that's
okay.
not tracking. Cool. So Barney, you have an action.
I will. I'm super close by the captain, right?
I'm sorry. I'm calling him a sergeant. The guy with the axe.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you can be. You're in short range. You're in short range, which means you're kind of like in an open concept, like kitchen space away from him.
Yeah. That'd make it real easy to hit him with my bow, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so you're gonna have to take a maneuver to pull your bow out, but then you can definitely shoot.
All right. Does it give me strain, right?
It does not give you strain. So you have one free maneuver, one free action.
Okay, cool.
You can do up to a maximum of 2 maneuvers in a turn and 1 action. So, so you are at short range. So it's gonna be 1 purple.
All right. Let's see, agility, 1 purple. All right, and 3 advantage.
All right, so you miss him, but
you don't hit me.
Yeah, don't hit you. Could it glance off his helmet and disorient him?
Yeah, so that's 1 advantage. You still would have 2 more.
All right. I guess while he's I'm struggling to think of what else I can do to.
You can use 2 of them to give the next person a boost.
Oh yeah, and because he's distracted, the next person, give a boost to the next person who rolls.
Sounds great.
Okay. I just don't know how my arrow being shot would benefit them, but hey, yeah.
By messing up his helmet, it's harder for him to defend himself while also making it easier to hit him.
Yeah.
You open a space for it to be attacked.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay. So the sergeant kind of gets hit in the helmet, steps back, corrects it, and says, "Right, this is the last time I'm going to offer this. Give up on these Pansy and Tillis. They don't know what's best for this planet. They don't know what's coming. They don't know the evils that are going to be wrought upon our people. Kolaris is the only one that's standing strong against this evil. Join us. Help us."
That's a wonderful offer, but it seems you're a bit misguided. You even attacked us. How sure are we you're not going to attack us again? Even if we pledge our loyalties to your empire.
Look, I know you're just going to try to be annoying again because that's like your one go-to thing. But you've clearly demonstrated that you're a valuable asset and can hold your own in a fight. Here, in Tillis, they're all caught up in their tea parties and bars. They're soft. But in Kolaris, we value strength. We value competency. We value people like you.
You also zealous enough to bomb yourselves to achieve the goal. I don't think self-sacrifice for that reason just doesn't sit well with me. Sacrificing yourself and your men? Oh,
says the guy who stopped my axe with his chest when clearly he should not have been in the front lines of a battle.
That was just bad placement.
I might point out, we just witnessed one of your compatriots literally turning himself into a giant flaming fireball.
Including all of his men around him. I don't know if I want to be caught in that crossfire.
Aren't a few lives worth sacrifice if it will save thousands? Millions?
Not if I don't have my own choice in the matter.
I don't think those guys agree.
Exactly. Minimal casualties. There's always better ways.
Clearly you have drank from the ideals of this soft nation.
Oh, yes, we're soft, but we beat the shit out of you.
Obviously, you've never been slathered.
Have you ever been slathered? Would you like to be slathered? It's an experience, I assure you.
All right, I'm flipping a dark side point. This guy is going to try to escape, because he needs to take the information of you guys back to superiors. Who has the best vigilance?
Not me.
I got one skill die, one attribute die.
I have 3 green die.
All right. We're gonna make it a group check then. So it's actually 1 yellow, 2 green, 2 setback, 1 red, 2 purple. So it's actually an even check. And basically, he's pulling out a smoke bomb and throwing it at his feet. And we're gonna see if you guys are able to spot him trying to get out. Ugh.
Yeah.
All right. So he is able. Rolls a success, but has 2 threats. So I think what's going to happen is you kind of see shadows in the smoke making an escape. Now, with those 2 threats, I would let one of you take an attack of opportunity, or if you guys are able to come up with another idea for 2 threats, I'm willing to hear it.
I was thinking that he tripped on something in the alley and like made himself prone.
I mean, I could
Like some ways
could,
down the alley. Like he got around a corner or something, and then we hear like a clattering where he kind of tripped and
Sure.
fell.
Yeah, so he kind of leaves a path. So he gets lost in the smoke, but you guys are potentially able to follow him.
Yeah, and I can follow on the rooftop, so I can kind of try to keep an eye from above.
Okay. So we're going to come out of combat. Well, kind of. We're going to stay in initiative in essence, but that means we're going to be moving into a chase scene.
Ooh.
So who's going to be chasing after this guy?
Me.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Anybody
you are
else?
the fastest, right? I mean, I'll try and keep up. I got an agility of 3 though, so
me too.
We'll
All
see.
right. So we're basically going to be doing a skills challenge. So let's see. What is this person's athletics? Oof, they're very athletic. All right. So we're going to be looking at athletics.
I'm an athletic supporter.
So I'm going to let both of you guys roll. Your difficulty is 2 red and a purple. But because of the smoke, I am going to give you 2 setback.
So 2 black die, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So 2 red and a purple versus our what?
And 2 black die versus your athletics.
Do I still get the setback being on the roof?
Yeah, because he dropped a smoke bomb and he did successfully disappear into the smoke bomb. So you guys have lost line of sight on him. But because of those threats, I'm letting you guys try to follow him out of the smoke bomb.
All right. And you said we're doing this as a group check or individually?
And each of you is doing it individually.
Now, could I use coordination instead of athletics? Just so
case,
so I'm like avoiding the boxes and things, you know.
All right, because you described it that way, yes. Technically, though, you're trying to physically keep up with him. That would be athletics. I would also like to point out, Barnaby, that you're chasing the person that almost eviscerated you. So I'm curious what you're planning to do when you catch him.
Yeah, that is a good question.
And also, from my understanding of Barnaby, he doesn't seem like someone who chases after people like that. But
okay, so you said it's athletics plus what other dice?
It's only people that are chasing. So if you wouldn't be chasing, you don't have to roll. But it's athletics, and it's 2 red, a purple, and 2 black.
I got 1 success and 3 threat.
I got 3 failures and 1 threat.
So, Byron, you can't even figure out where this person's going. You were just lost in the smoke.
Yep.
Groth?
I think Groth would like to catch him, but I think that at this point, maybe better just to stay where I'm.
Yeah. So I think what's going to happen is, Prong, what is your goal?
My goal is to catch him and like subdue him and bring him in.
Sure. So you want to try to fight him, is what I hear you saying.
Yeah, if I can maybe take a range attack, maybe I can hamstring him and put him out of commission.
Okay. So with the success, you're able to keep him in view, but he is going to be, with those threats, he's going to be pulling away from you. So okay. I'll let you make a long ranged, a long range attack at long range.
All right, I cannot make that because my bow only goes to medium.
Oh no, you're able to go. I forget the exact rules. I can't remember if it upgrades or increases the difficulty when you exceed the range.
Let me take a look.
We'll say it upgrades because you rolled 3 threat.
Yeah.
So upgrade the difficulty to 1 red,
2 purple,
and then 2 purple.
Interesting. So I miss, but I have a triumph and 3 advantage. So what I'm going to say is that while I don't hit him with the triumph, with the advantage, he actually is running into a main thoroughfare. And in this main thoroughfare is some kind of authorities of the local government that will actually catch him.
Okay. And so we can say there's 2 cops that kind of like are the equivalent of police that confront him.
Yep.
Okay.
And maybe the magistrate or whoever we were talking to and their people can work with them to get this guy.
All right.
And thanks to them for, being in the combat, the Secret Service.
Well, I lost all their stats, so that was kind of my bad. So unfortunately, this guy is. So I think your arrow goes flying out, and it draws the attention of the magistrate who come over, and they go to confront this guy who's running. Is like, sir, please stop. And he's going to take his axe, and he just decapitates one of them, and is going to be able to keep moving. But he's definitely drawn the attention of the magistrate. So I'm going to make a roll to see if he's able to escape.
These guys just aren't very friendly.
Oof. So he is failing, but with a lot of advantages. So I think, Eric, what's going to happen is he is going to be able to make his way away, but I think you're going to be able to keep him in sight long enough to see where he goes.
Okay, we'll do that.
And we are almost out of time tonight. So what you are able to do is you're able to kind of like track him from the rooftops. He's kind of managed to lose himself in the crowd. He had to drop his axe though because I was, glowing with ice and it was too much of a giveaway. But you're able to follow him back to the port, and you are able to see him board a ship. Terry, what's the name of the ship that he boards?
The Inconspicuous.
Thanks for choosing a name I can spell. Perfect. So he clearly has doubled back multiple times. He has, done all of this stuff. He would have lost anyone who wasn't as diligent as Prong. And eventually, when he thinks he's in the clear, he makes his way up the ramp onto the Inconspicuous, a armed merchant vessel currently residing within the harbor, flying the flags of a neutral nation. And I think that's where we'll end for tonight.
Intro and outro music by the band 12 Noon. You can email us at meandsteverpg@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at @RPGs. Find us on Facebook at Me and Steve RPG Podcast. On Discord at Me and Steve RPGs. And as always, all of these links are in the show notes. Thank you, and be kind to one another.
How much for the cigar?
Cigar, $20, dog. You gotta go down the street to the store and buy that.